Great. Thank you for joining, everyone. I'm going to stop the sharing and we're going to start with our webinar. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining. And yeah, we're very happy to have you join us. Welcome to the Founder Spotlight with Felix Leshno, the co-founder and CXO at Underoutfit, a portfolio company of Savyon Ventures, and one of the fastest growing D2C brands in the US. Hi, Felix, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for hosting me.
Today, we're going to dive into what it takes to build a successful e-commerce brand in today's competitive landscape, how to scale effectively, and what founders often get wrong about growth. We'll also touch on team building, fundraising, and navigating market shifts as a data-driven operator. So just before we start, a quick intro about myself. So my name is Eran, and I'm the founder and managing partner of Savyon Ventures. We're a seed stage fund investing in AI, digital, and commerce. And Savyon is my third fund, and before becoming an investor, I was also a founder myself. I founded three startups, two of which were acquired. So that's a little bit about me. We're hosting these webinars every few weeks to share some real insights from top founders, investor experts, helping you stay ahead of everything that's happening in tech and venture. Just before we start, a quick disclaimer. The content presented today is not directed to any investors or potential investors and does not constitute an offer to sell or a solicitation of an offer or an offer to buy any securities. Now that we have this off the table, and before we get started, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat at the bottom of the screen. And also, you can go ahead and ask questions in the chat, and we will address these questions later in the webinar when we get to that point. So without further ado, let's get started. Felix, thanks again for joining us. Please introduce yourself and share a bit about your journey before starting Underoutfit.
So, hi everybody. Thank you, Eran, for hosting me. I'm Felix, 53 years old, long time, father of two, unrelated to the topic here, but still part of my journey as well. Long story, it's a very long story. I've been an internet entrepreneur since 2001, one of the dinosaurs. In my past, I started my internet career. I always was in retail, by the way, so even before my internet career. But in 2001, I started my internet career as an eBay seller, was selling Dead Sea products from the Dead Sea in Israel on eBay. After that, I became a retail affiliate. Between 2003 and 2010, I used to be one of the biggest retail affiliates in the US, working with all the biggest retailers back then. Started with Amazon, been with Amazon since 2003 until 2010. Was their number one affiliate for many, many years, but also worked with all the other retailers back then. Online, worked with eBay, with the HomeClick, Musician Friend, many retailers that doesn't exist anymore, but existed back then. In 2010, I joined a few friends. We started another company. Friends said it's going to be fun. So we started it. I was looking for something less boring than affiliate marketing. Long story short, it's called Intango. It's an ad tech company. Today, it's one of the biggest ad tech companies coming out of Israel, offices in New York and in Israel, 120 employees. It's a big company. About 5 years ago, we decided to retire, the founders, me and my co-founders, and I went back to my old passion and what I was really meant to do, which is retail. And I decided to start a brand from scratch. That was an old dream of mine because I used to be an affiliate and promoting other people's brands. and I was looking for new co-founders for that project, found two of the best people in the world in this category to become my co-founders, and we started Underoutfit in 2021, in January 2021, a bit earlier, but we officially launched in January 21. And as Eran said, one of the fastest growing D2C brands today. We just finished the investment round, and we are growing fast. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for that. So let's talk a little bit about Underoutfit. So if you could give us some background about Underoutfit, how it started, what you set to solve, and also if you can share some numbers that will reflect where the company is today.
So Underoutfit, as I said, on my side, I cannot talk to my co-founders, but on my side, I just wanted to start a brand from scratch. And I was looking into different options, like different categories. A bra company or undergarment company wasn't the dream. The dream was to start a brand from scratch, make it a global household brand, which what we are doing today. And I was looking for different options. On one of my, so when I started an idea, I'm talking to everybody. I'm speaking about my ideas. I'm sharing the ideas. I know a lot of people trying to hide and conceal their ideas. I just talk to everybody, and that's how partnerships are born. That's what happened with all my other activities as well. And in one of these coffee talks and people that I know that introduced me to other people for different crazy ideas I had back then, I met one of my co-founders. So I have two co-founders, one Israeli, one American. And I thought about starting a brand for athleisure fashion, because I have 250 domains. One of the domains is wedon'tdomuch.com. And I thought, okay, well, I'll create some brand for athleisure, for weekend clothes, wedon'tdomuch.com. That's what made sense. And I met for coffee with a textile engineer consultant that he was retired. His name is Manny Alon. He was retired from Delta Galil, one of the biggest manufacturers in the world. And I wanted to hire him as a consultant, and we came to some kind of an agreement. And eventually, at the end of the meeting, he told me, listen, I have another friend in the US. We've been working 30 years, one against the other. He's coming from Maidenform, the biggest underwear company in the US. And we want to do something online, but we have zero understanding of online, but we know everything about the category of shapewear, bras, underwear. And I said, okay, let's do a Zoom call with Steven. Let's see what these guys are talking about. And basically, after the first call with Steven, his name is Steven Castellano, he's in the US. We started a company because I understood immediately I have two of the top experts in the world of creating the best product possible, and I didn't need more. So that's how it started. The range of our sales, again, we just got an investment round. So I used to speak about the numbers, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to do it anymore. But we are approaching and probably going to finish this year with a 9-figure revenue this year. It's our 5th year. At the end of the year, we're going to be at 9 figures and above.
Well, that's crazy. I guess that's what provides you the ability to be one of the fastest growing brands or the title. So that's crazy. Thank you very much. I think that if I understand, so just to highlight the things that you mentioned, it's about the team, the expertise. You in fact wanted to build like an e-commerce brand. You didn't really care what that brand was. I remember the days where you were actually looking for different ideas and also doing a lot of experiments. So right, this is one of the things that maybe people need to understand.
There were many ideas, yeah. And we know each other for a long time, and you know me from Intango as well. So I was speaking to everybody. One of the ideas was eye reading glasses, like the one I'm wearing right now. There's many ideas, and I was testing them. Coffee, because I just have another domain, unroastedcoffee.com. So I started a coffee shop. But Underoutfit, once I knew I have top experts to create best product, that's what brand needs to start from. So that's what I did.
That's important for people, I guess, to understand. That was not your first experiment. That's
no. It never first experiment. None of my businesses started from first experiment. Some started just as fun and worked, but a lot of failure and testing, it's part of the process. Yeah.
Awesome. So going back to the fact that you're three male founders, um, three co-founders, and you're building bras and underwear. What first of all, what does it actually mean for three founders to build women's product, but also, what unique challenges or maybe advantages that does that bring?
So by now we already have 50% of the company is women. We grew and we raised money, so we hired people. We actually started three guys and one woman, Michael, that works with me for many, many years. So about these questions comes back a lot about the three guys starting undergarment. As I said, I didn't really mind about what I'm going to start as a brand. I just wanted to create the best product possible because I know how to create experiences. That's why I'm a CXO, that's the Chief Experience Officer, how to do the internet experience. And my co-founder has been doing that for 30 years. So Manny Alon, he was the CEO of the seamless division, Delta Galil, worked with Lululemon, Victoria's Secret, all the biggest brands. So them being male is not an issue because after 30 years, they are really top experts in the world, and Steven as well, in this category. Now, yeah, we're talking bras, we're talking underwear, but eventually we're talking about very technical products that solve some kind of a need. And it's very engineered products to be very fitted well, to be comfortable. There's a lot of engineering and textile technology that goes into these products and a lot of experience. And it's not just that, it's also the experience of working with manufacturers because, again, it's machinery, it's logistics. So it's just a matter of experience and not the gender. So after 30 years, these guys know how to create these products to be very comfortable and do what they're supposed to do and even have some kind of wow factor when women compare them. But we also know how to create men products. We just started with women. We create men t-shirts and underwear as well now. I'm wearing one and I cannot wear anything else. I didn't create it. My co-founders did, but they do something right. It's amazing product.
Got it. So yeah, let's talk about the early days of Underoutfit. So I mean, you went from an idea. It was kind of an idea, though. Your co-founders already kind of knew what they were doing in that space, but still, you went from an idea of Underoutfit into the fastest growing D2C brand in the US. So, what were some of the key decisions or, turning points along the way, from the get-go to where it actually is becoming this fast-growing brand?
So when we started, we actually thought about entering the market through the shapewear category, and almost anything we do at the company is in the wrong timing. So we started with shapewear, and immediately COVID hit the world. And shapewear is a garment that women buy to go out. It's not something to wear at home or for comfort. And we had to pivot very fast because nobody was buying shapewear. Everybody was sitting at home. And again, the expertise of my co-founders enabled us very fast to create our first bra because and we created a comfort bra. And the way we did it, they had, again, each one of them with 30 years of experience in their heads. We created a very comfortable bra because we understood people are looking for something comfort. They're sitting more at home. Maybe they're meeting some family, but that's it. And they created a bra with some innovations. It was based on existing bra, one of the most sold bras in the US, but they innovated a lot of parts of it. And the first steps were we were advertising on Meta and checking the feedback. So how many people return the item and how many come back and purchase it again. And within about 4 or 5 months, we had enough, at least it was a feeling, it wasn't enough sales, we're just starting, that the product works well. And we started advertising more and more. And we took risks. Again, I'm a long-time entrepreneur, so I'm used to risks. I'm not afraid of that. So we just put money into campaigns, and it started growing
But that's the
faster.
point of product market fit. So I mean,
It's in theory, yes, but statistically, no, probably. So we
No,
didn't
but
have.
that's kind of in retrospective, you now know. But back then, did it feel like product market fit or
Yeah, but we even before the product exists, when you have two of the top world experts as your co-founders in that specific category, when they created products for all the other brands, at that point we didn't need it. Only the product market fit was actually what kind of creatives we do to put on Meta, Facebook back then, and that gonna create some kind of success with campaigns, not on the product. We weren't concerned about product. Our concern about the product was the sizing. So we were checking if somebody returns different specific sizes to see maybe the table of the sizing was, but we had no concerns. Again, a lot of expertise on the product side. And on my side, as the one that ran campaigns and created the website and the experience, I'm very, and actually I love risks. So maybe that's why I'm an entrepreneur. And throwing money we didn't have on these campaigns felt very natural to me. I'm not suggesting anybody to do that. We raised money only after 4 years, so everything was from our own pockets and some loans. But again, it's a gut feeling as well. It happens a lot with entrepreneurs, specifically me. You start on a gut feeling, you push on a gut feeling. Sometimes you hit a
we'll
wall.
talk about funding in a second. But before that, I mean, I want to touch on that point of
We were trying to
gut
make as many
feeling
women to touch
versus,
the product.
yeah,
That's what we're trying to do.
but is it like gut feeling, or is it like at what point do you feel that, or as a founder, you feel that you have product market fit? Like, what's the indication? I mean,
It
this is
happened
really
for us.
tricky, right? I mean,
So you can separate the two. We started pushing before we had that trust that we had product market fit. But after less than a year, let's say after 6 to 8 months, we knew exactly because we had the feedback from the customers. By now, we had women buying the bra, coming back. We had feedbacks. We called them, some of them, and the return rate was low. So we were more and more confident, and we pushed more and more. And by then, we also started creating other products, not a lot, but more products, more colors for them. It took us about 6 to 8 months to really feel strong that we don't need to change anything in that product, and we can explode even more.
and what does it feel like? I mean, what does product market fit feel like?
It feels like, so for us, on our category, low return rates and high retention rate from customers. It means they buy again and again. So that's how it feels. But the main one is low return rate, because if somebody in
What's
US, it's
low?
very easy to return. We actually offer very unique experience. We offer them 180 days to return, and more than anything else that nobody else is doing, we offer them to open the bags, wear the item, wash it, and they can wash it again and again. And if they still don't like it, they can return to us. And we had a very low return rate. We still do. And so that's
What
for
is
us
low,
was the best
Felix?
signal.
What is low? Low
It's
return rate.
less than 10%. So
Okay.
fashion, people talk fashion in between 15 to 20%. For us, it was less than 10%, in the area of 9. And the only high return rate we had was with specific size. And then because we have a table of sizing on the website, we just had to change the table, not the product. And that's solved it. That's it.
Okay. Let's talk about funding for a second. So I think I mean, I know, but others maybe don't know that you had like not a standard funding strategy and path. So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, when did you decide to raise funding, and how much did you raise? If you feel comfortable, share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. What were the key decisions about the funding? And also, if you were starting Underoutfit today with everything that you know, would you approach funding in the same way?
I'm not sure I'm the right person to teach anybody about how to approach funding and money risks. I have some kind of a problem, I guess. So we started raising funds about after 4 years. We were bootstrapped for 4 years, and most of our growth was in these 4 years. and we finance it through working capital loans from, there's few companies, actually Shopify themselves, which is our, Shopify is the platform that we use, offer loans. There's a company, it's Israeli-American company, 8Fig, that we worked. They are very good partners of ours for many years. They worked with us. It's not cheap loans if you compare it to a bank, but you don't sign any personal guarantees and stuff like that. So we actually finance our growth, but mostly working with 8Fig, for example. We still do, even after we are financed. And they're amazing partners, and they enabled us to grow. So I think this kind of experience exists only in e-commerce today. So these companies are connected to our Shopify, and they see our growth, and they see everything. They see our spend on marketing. They see our growth in revenue. So they taking a lot of risk, and that's why the money is not cheap. But also they have managing risk because they are connected to everything. They connected to our bank account. They connected to the revenue, to the spend. So that's how we maintain it. But so the decision to go and raise funds after 4 years from the regular channels, let's call it, like VCs and investors, is because, if anything, the product market fit now is stronger than ever for us. We have more than 2.5 million existing customers that bought from us. Almost 50% of our customers are buying again and again. The retention rate is close to 50%, which is very, very high. And at that point, we decided that we can grow more. We feel very comfortable. It's time to raise the funds and start doing global expansion, going on national TV, billboards, going outside of what we call performance marketing channels, Meta, TikTok, Google. And when you go to these channels of advertising, it's longer cycles. It's not 7-day click to a sell. So you need more funds, you need more money, we need more inventory. So we decided to raise money to keep growing and keep that growth. And we have very, very harsh goals for ourselves. There's a certain, we want to reach about $500 million in sales in 3 years. So you need money at that point to reach that level at that speed. That's why we decided to raise money.
So if I'm kind of summarizing your kind of funding journey, it was, you bring your own money and some, friends and family, kind of small money.
And we had friends and family. I always forget that, but yeah, we had friends and
So
family. Very small around at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of start with your own money, some friend and family money.
Yeah.
You get going, and then you do some sort of venture lending, non-dilutive equity.
Non-dilutive equity.
Funding.
We
And
had,
then
except
you
of
get to
8Fig, we had
scale.
also, I have friends, I have, as you know, I have friends that believe in me, and partners in other businesses that believe in me, that also lended us money and created that possible. So it's not exactly something that you can learn from, but again, you need the connection as well. It's also part, I think, of any entrepreneur side, that you have connection that can help you when you
I think that what we can learn from this is like the kind of out of the box thinking about funding this business. It's relatively difficult to find the right investors who understand D2C, especially in the early days. So I think that that's kind of a valuable learning to kind of think differently maybe about funding, especially in the early days.
By the way, I can share that in the 4 years of lending that we took from 8Fig and Shopify Capital, we took more than 20 million non-dilutive funds, and we paid them off back. So I don't know any other category or business that you can get that kind of money without giving equity, and that's what we did.
Exactly. That's one of the, I guess, opportunities for D2C founders that I guess some people know, but they don't understand maybe how much can this be leveraged until you get dilutive funding to the point where you need to raise dilutive funding. So
it's a bit scary because when you see how much it costs, again, it's different than a bank. It's calculated differently. But on the other hand, it's a real enabler for growth if you believe in your business and you know you're doing the right thing. So I think it was one of the smartest moves from our side. And 8Fig, for example, were amazing partners. Really, like, it's really was an enabler for us to reach the level we are at right now.
Awesome, great. So let's move. I mean, I think that that was like a really valuable learning here. But talking about D2C specifically, I mean, I guess some people here in the audience, are more or less familiar with D2C, but still, what do most people, whether founders or investors, what do they not understand about, building and scaling a D2C brand?
So I, we don't look, I don't look at ourselves as a D2C brand per se. D2C is a channel, and we don't restrict ourselves to being direct to consumer. We will definitely work in the future, maybe with retailers. So we are building a brand, and in this round with investors, one of the key I was saying to the investors, one of the key saying, we're not building an e-commerce brand, we're building a brand, and it means we will allow ourselves to sell anywhere, to be anywhere the customer is supposed to be. Yes, we started with D2C, we started with e-commerce, with online, and for me, it's just a channel. So people think it's the easiest channel. There's like the direct to consumer, there's no middleman, but you discover very fast, I knew it before, but if you're new, you're going to discover very fast there is a middleman. It's called Meta or Google, and they take most of the money because there's no way for you to reach the consumer without passing the algorithm of Meta, and it's not cheap. Actually, it's very expensive. So if anything, you need to understand that you need to be whatever your category is or whatever you're building, even with software, it doesn't have to be a physical product. You need to be where the consumer is. And it's usually not one channel. There's many options. You should choose maybe the fastest channel to reach the most of consumers possible. For us, it was online, as I said. In our category, more than 50% of the people buying in the category, the bra category, are doing it online. It was a very surprising number. It's a very high number. And we also we didn't choose the product, but we knew the product doesn't have seasonality, so it was easier for us to grow as well. It's both through the entire year. And the main challenge is to understand that you always have a middleman. There's no direct to consumer, really direct to consumer. There's always a middleman, and this middleman is smarter than you. It takes most of the money.
Yeah, so that kind of leads me to my next question, which is, coming from a very, very strong background in online marketing, what surprised you when launching your own kind of D2C brand? And was there anything that you had to unlearn or relearn in that context?
So, as I said, I had like 2 careers in retail, online retail. I started as an affiliate, and back then it was only Google. And then I had about 15, 16 years with Intango, which is an ad tech company. So there was a disconnect. And when we came to Underoutfit and I came back to the market, suddenly Google as a launching channel doesn't exist anymore. It exists, but not as strong. And now Meta. So I had to learn Meta. And it wasn't that long, but again, if you're coming from internet marketing, you understand the consumer behavior, not the platform, not the algorithm, because that is learnable. If you understand how people behave, what makes them tick, what makes them do certain actions, it's the same. And I had to learn, of course, the platform, how it works. I'm getting older. It's harder to learn. It's not as when I was young. But it was fast, and it was basically the same. And what surprised me most of all, it was harder than I thought it would be. But if you think about it as a long-time entrepreneur, it always is. It's always harder than you think it's going to be when you start something new. But I still was surprised because we started at the same time. Again, bad timing. Everything we do is with bad timing. Meta had a fight with Apple, and all this best algorithm of matching consumers with your offer was destroyed by Apple. And so it was harder. On the other side, it was easier for me because I didn't have the history experience that other had. That Meta was really easy. Facebook was really easy. So I had to start from scratch, but most of my competition started from scratch because they changed the rules. But still, it was hard. It still is. It still is to advertise on Meta. I love it, and I love the Meta team that works with us in Israel. They're amazing, but it's not as easy as people think. Starting a website and selling to a customer, it's not as easy as people think.
Just a quick comment to everyone. We're gonna open up for your questions in a few minutes. So go ahead and already put them into the chat box. So it's gonna be easier for me to also prepare and read them in advance. You can either, type it in the chat, or maybe we can also allow you to kind of unmute yourself. But just go ahead and already put them in. You were talking about some unexpected lessons in online, and you were talking about Meta. I guess not many people know, but you already advertise on TV, right?
Yeah.
This is like,
I see my screen froze, but let me see if something else. But yeah, why is it freezing? I don't know.
yeah, we can hear you. Okay, you're
No,
back.
you can hear me. I know it
Yeah.
happens all the time for some
Okay,
reason.
you're back. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're kind of advertising on TV now, right? And
So as I said, we raised money for specifically to advertise on TV. So I have if somebody is doing performance marketing here, I don't know who's the audience here, but as an all-time internet marketer, as one of the probably the first generations, because I started when Google started, I think we really ruined the marketing advertising space for young generations. So people think if you can only do marketing if it's measurable and you can measure the results. And so performance marketing, like everything is performance marketing. And by the way, if you asked me about what was very surprising, it's not the first for me. I worked with Google, but because they sell efficiency and everything is measurable, they can price their media much more because it's a marketing thing. They sell you that it's performance. And we started TV. It always was the plan to start TV because as a long time, I come from many years of marketing and advertising. Meta and Google are tools for bottom of the funnel. You can use them for top of the funnel. So I don't know if everybody understands what I'm talking about. Bottom of the funnel is the people that are ready to buy, and then Meta shows them your ads. That's how the algorithm works, and then they buy. So Meta is the genius of Meta is, of course, the prediction that somebody going to buy your product based on an ad they're going to show them. But they always show. So if you ask me about before that, what surprised me, that we advertise for all the women in the US. Our market, the way we struck the campaign is all the women in the US, age 25 and till the death, I guess. Plus, whatever they can reach and still scroll online. But eventually, so in the US, it's about 150 million reach, but we're reaching about 200, 250 million. Our ads are shown. And it takes you time to realize that they only show your ads to people that they think are willing to buy. So you're missing a lot of people that never seen your ad and could have bought, maybe not immediately. So that's what TV is for. It's creating campaigns for top of the funnel, what we call awareness. So you need, before people take action, so think about it, they see an ad for an Underoutfit, they never seen this brand before, they never heard about it before. Now you need to convince them to buy a bra, which is a very intimate product, and they're concerned about if they can return or not return, reviews. So the more you grow, there's a mark, and usually the rule of thumb, people say that an e-commerce brand or a D2C brand, when they reach 50 million in sales revenue, yearly revenue, Meta and Google are not enough, and you cannot grow anymore. You can grow, but it's going to be more and more expensive to acquire customers. So at that point, you need go to other channels that are cheaper, higher reach, but the thing is, people not going to buy immediately, and you need to use different ads or creatives because that's a different kind of campaign. So we started TV because of that. In order to grow more and be household brand as we want to, you need to be in everybody's face. People need to know at least your distinctive asset, which is usually logo, maybe your color or a tagline. And then when they are ready to buy, which is usually much more than 7 days click, then it's easier for you to activate them, to convert them, and easier for Meta to find them because the prediction algorithm works better. So that's what we're doing right now.
Great. So I guess
And it's not just for us, it's for every, I think, so I'm involved with software, as you know, with other companies. It's the same for everybody. You need mass advertising on as top of the funnel. You can have it on Meta as well. You don't have to do TV. There's campaign in Meta that are created to get reach, lower CPMs, but you're not be able to measure sales because it's gonna take more than 7 days or 28 days. It's beyond the attribution model. So, but everybody needs it. You need all the parts of the funnel to grow your business.
how long will it take for you to be like presenting an ad in Super Bowl?
In Super Bowl, it's not our audience unless it's not our audience, but we have a men brand. Again, I don't think it's the best way. It's so just for you to understand, when we create TV ads and TV campaigns and billboard campaigns, we are looking for the frequency. We're trying to show our ad only once to every person so we can reach on the lowest cost possible as many women in our case possible in the US. So TV ad on Super Bowl, you reach a lot of people. I think the cost and the frequency is higher there, so I'm not sure it's gonna fit. Not at that stage. Later on, maybe.
Right. So let's talk for a second about the team. So you're operating relatively lean and mean. People, I guess, don't really realize how many people actually operate with such a large business in terms of revenue. So what does the team look like today? Size, structure, key roles, who are the people?
So
And
as I said, we started 4 people, like the founding team was 4 people. Through the first 3 years, we grew to 8 people. So just for you to understand, first employee we had was our head of office. We have an office in China with local manager that also have a lot of years of experience in manufacturing and logistics and worked for Delta and Maidenform. So she was the first. We understood immediately logistics is the most important part because really marketing, I can control its commodity, creating website and funnels, its commodity. Product and logistics is the biggest and the most important part of our business. Right now, after the raise, I think we counted, again, it's only the people that work on the payroll. It's about 15. But we have, we work with agencies in some cases. We work with a lot of AI tools now. So we're not really growing fast with hiring. We're growing faster with AI tools. For example, I was about to hire people for media buying, and I stopped that because we found AI tools. So we hired one person that's also in charge of the AI tools. But it's still a very small team that we work with what possible. It's 15 or 17 people right now. We have a CEO that we hired in our office in New York, a CFO. So all this what I call boring stuff. So now it's new because once you're bigger, you need people like that. I'm a very bad CEO. People thought I was fired, but I was never intended to be a CEO. So it's 15 people right now with agencies working for us. Yeah, it's not just that, but it's very lean team.
But that's very interesting, the fact that kind of almost first employee was the person responsible for the operations in next to the China factory.
Yeah, I strongly believe that especially a D2C brand that creates physical product, one of the co-founders or the first C-level people needs to come from the product. There's nothing more important. So we consider ourselves a second purchase company. It means we don't measure the first purchase. It's not interesting. So first purchase is me being a good marketer and convincing some new customers to try us at home. If they come back is what's important and what's interesting. And that's coming from the product. I mean, we're doing some amazing things about retention activity, email, SMS, and we do that. But it's not going to work if the product is not good. So that's the way I structure the business. And that's why I have these 2 co-founders, which I immediately understood what's possible and how to create a global household brand. It's only the product. Experience is important, don't get me wrong, but you cannot change perception with a good experience on a bad product. That's not possible. So, and logistics. But one of the biggest learning I had with that is the logistics. Most of the outside of marketing, most of the waste of spend is in bad logistics. The shipping to the customer, the shipping from manufacturers. So we have manufacturers in China and Vietnam and Cambodia. The shipping to the US. So we have warehouses all over the US in 3 different locations. We have a warehouse in Canada. It's so complicated and it's so important to have expertise there because a lot of money is wasted there. So my co-founders have a lot of experience, again, selling to products. So we structured it very well from the logistics side.
And so logistics is important, but also I think for me, and we had a few conversations about that, that was surprising, I guess, and maybe it's surprising for marketers. Like we were taught to know that the level of or the quality of the product is not that important. What's important is like the marketing. You can have like a medium.
That's a marketing message that
Yes,
marketers market themselves. That's
it
a
themselves.
that's a marketing. No, but listen, if your product is, there's different plays. So for us, we're building a retention machine. And actually, when we were talking to investors in Israel, which most of them are in the technology or gaming industries, I was explaining them and showing them graph of our cohort retention, and I was telling them, this is downloads, this is SaaS. So we have customers coming back, and that's because of product. It's same with software. I mean, people buy software and they stay with the software or SaaS because of the product. Nobody can convince somebody if the product is not good to stay with them. And I know what you're talking about here. People convince that the marketing is important, but it's only after you have a good product because, first of all,
No,
media
but
is
we
very
were
expensive.
taught that with software at least, like not necessarily like the best product will win, but the best marketing team will win. But now we understand, or at least from the experience with Underoutfit, that product is super, super important and the
So the
experience of the
formula just not going to work these days. Marketing is very expensive. The media is becoming more and more expensive. I've been 25 years in this business. I never seen prices on media go down. They always go up. There's always Meta and Google find reasons why it goes up. The auction, it's excuses. They increase the prices. So if marketing prices go up, marketing is important, but if customer is not going to stay with your product, let's say you're selling one-time product, that's fine. It might work, but it's going to be more expensive to market because the higher the price. So even with software, if customers don't stay, for us, the formula when we started growing actually was, you asked why we raised money. That's also one part of that. We were aiming not to be profitable on the first purchase. Once we understood about product market fit, that we can be feel secure about people coming back, we allowed ourselves not to be profitable on the first purchase because we knew the first purchase is just the experience. Let them try it at home. We did everything possible. We still do. That's our approach. Just try the product at home. We'll give you any reason to try it. 180 days, open the bag. You can get some of them, by the way, we don't even ask them to ship it back. We just refund. And if you don't have the second purchase, this entire formula won't work. Your marketing spend will be a disaster. So it's another reason why we raised money, because on that kind of formula, you need more money to grow.
because of cash flow issues.
Yeah,
Just
cash flow.
to further explain this. So I'm gonna go to questions asked by the audience. The first one is, how is ChatGPT and AI affecting your top of the funnel B2C growth, insights, and advice?
It changed everything. It changed everything from creating. So on the marketing side, specifically working with Meta and Google, these platforms require a lot of creatives. It's part of the strategy. It's part of, you need to create and test a lot of creatives. So working with designers, with video editors, photo shoot days, which are very, very expensive, suddenly you don't need it. As I said also, we planned to hire people that do media buy, upload creatives, test, analyze. You don't need it anymore. So that's big change. It's still new for us, but I already can see the difference. That's one. I'll give you an example. We were about to shoot a TV commercial. We started doing TV, and we were discussing budgets of 150 to 200,000 just to shoot the commercial. And I can tell you it was reduced to a few thousands for a better commercial with a crazier idea without any photo shoot day. You're just paying for some creator on prompts. And that's what we're building right now. So that's entire, like, think about it, 200,000 budget to shooting a commercial. And it's more interesting now. Again, so we're working on commercial. It's going to cost us a few thousand. That's it. That's one thing. Analyzing the activity on, I just had a call with an agency, analyzing the activity on Meta. We work with a company, Israeli company, actually, very interesting startup called AGI. So we have tens of thousands of creatives on Meta, for example, through the years. No human can analyze these creatives and decide why something works, why something isn't, because Meta is a black box. We have Edge as a startup that works with us for the last almost 3 years now, and we are a design partner. We started as a design partner. Now they're open to other customers. It's amazing. So it gives us data how to create more ads and creatives with analysis that no human can be. And I trust it more than trusting somebody hiring an analyst that's going to give me insights, because this is a machine that really, it watches the videos. It tells me, so creatives with the women with green eyes and short brown hair works better for audience, let's say in Texas, that level. So that changes everything. That's AI, and it gives us also like scripts to create more ads. Like that's another thing. Creating simple tasks that are visual and text. Email marketing. We have a team, internal team that do email marketing. We send like millions of emails every month, and it's a daily task. The team here work on it daily. So now you have we in Israel. So now you have somebody that correct your English, write better, create visuals. It's insane. It's insane for old people like me. I'm so happy I'm living in that time, because I really can see it's the industrial change all over again, much bigger, much stronger. On the other side, every time I create an image with an AI, I see a lot of designers fired. I really see them in my mind disappear. It's sad, but that's reality. And coders as well.
That's life. So thank you for that. The next question is, how are you handling the US tariffs and shipping from China?
So it's another thing of having strong co-founders that understand logistics. So tariffs is a problem, but it's actually a bigger problem for our competitors, which is an advantage for us. We have a very high margins. That's why we actually were able to raise funds from very big investors. We have El Caterton, which is a Louis Vuitton group in the US. We have Viola in Israel, very strong. So we have high margins. Our margins are not usual margins for textile, just because of my co-founders, the expertise and the connections we have with manufacturers. We work with the same manufacturers that Lululemon works with, Victoria's Secret and all the big brands. And so because we have that high of a margins, the effect on us is not that strong. On the other hand, it's much stronger on our competition. So they advertise less because they have less profit. And when they advertise less, we pay less for advertising. So I actually, on a theoretical level, I wanted to stay because it's easier for me as one with that have high margins. And we also checking our price flexibility. We increasing prices and we see how loyal our customers, and we keep increasing prices and nothing happens. It means they love the product and they'll pay more. So it's going to affect, of course, profitability, but it's also we are good with that. That's for now. And we also started the manufacturing in Vietnam and Cambodia. Also easy for us, a lot of experience in manufacturing, so easy to move production and keep the same quality, which is very important.
Okay, next question here. You said something like setting a website and selling product is not that easy. And he says, I already learned that the hard way. but how did you overcome that? What needed to be done? So I guess like how do you actually get started? Like how do you kickstart or brute force this to get started?
So set a web store. It's easy. Shopify is enabled everybody to create a web store. Very easy to do it with Shopify. Amazing platform in my. Again, I come from a generation. I remember when Shopify started. So I come from a time that I'm not a coder, but I had to learn, like, I think it was it was PHP called. There's a language called PHP. I
Yes.
don't remember, but I had to learn it to create my first website with the open source platform. I think it was called OS Commerce. Now it's so easy with Shopify. So that's one. You have a platform. You can upload any product, images, text, and start selling. They're going to give you the checkout, processing, everything. Product is way more difficult, I think. It's easy to do product. You can go to AliExpress, get any product. It's not going to make your business. I don't believe it. So again, selling and creating a website, just go to Shopify. It's easy. There's a lot of YouTube videos. You're going to have a store within few hours. Getting a product, making the pages, the experience, the entire funnel, you need some more expertise. But yeah, if you have time, you can. I really believe in doing that, making mistakes and learning from that. So just do it, create some kind of a page, see how people respond to that. Again, getting a product is a different level. I don't think that's as easy, but maybe there are products that are easy. I don't know everything. So, but my experience has invest in product, finding the right product, finding the right manufacturer, maybe designing the right product, test it before. Even with t-shirts, when we decide to go to men t-shirts, just because I wanted to, and we saw the opportunity, we created so our brand of t-shirt called version 7B, because we had 100 versions of these t-shirts, and version 7B was the best one. So I called it version 7B just to show how hard it is to create a good version. So product is hard, web store and e-commerce is easy.
Okay, last question from the audience, and then I will have my one last closing question. So try to keep it short. Have you started to use additional promotion channels such as influencers, built-in promotion through AI channels inside the ChatGPT? How efficient was it for you?
So we started influencers not long time ago, like few months ago. If I regret anything, not starting it earlier. Again, it's part of our strategy of, as I said, top funnel. So the way I look at influencers, again, I think a lot of people do it wrong because they measure it on sales. I measure it the goals that I gave to the team that's doing reach to influencers and signing deals is the amount of content they produce and the amount of views it produced for us. I'm not measuring it on sales. And I think it's super important. And if anything, if you don't have money to start paid campaigns, you should start. There's very good examples, even from Israel. It's not Israeli company. Addicted, for example, which is started from Israel. It's an American company. They started from influencer marketing. It's a huge company, huge success. There's a lot of different examples. So I really recommend that if somebody starts and he doesn't want to risk, and is not crazy as I am, risk people's money and your money on Meta and Google, start about seeding your product to influencers. It's an amazing channel. Be careful with what you measure, though. I prefer to look at it as awareness and reach channel and not sales channel. Because with influencers, yeah, you're gonna get some sales, but it's a longer cycle. So you might decide it's not working because you don't see sales, but you're getting so much exposure, you're gonna see sales in 2 months from now. So it's very important, and I really recommend that channel. We started it now. It's one of my regrets. I should have started it earlier. And what was the other part of the question?
We're almost out of time, so I'm going to ask you my last question, and then we're going to wrap up. So, if you could go back and give your past self on day one of Underoutfit one piece of advice, what would it be? And what would you say to anyone in the crowd or everywhere thinking about starting their own thing?
Let's start from this last part. If you think to start your own thing, start it. Don't think about it. Don't overthink about it. Just make sure you enjoy it. Because if you're doing it just for money, there's a 30% chance you might be successful. I saw a lot of entrepreneurs. It might work. I don't think it's scalable or you can maintain, because it's hard work to create something from scratch, to create a company. There's a lot of pivot needed. There's a lot of problems. It's like basically a new company is all problems. You need to enjoy problems. I need to be able to learn that. So I would say start now. Make sure you enjoy it, but start. Don't overthinking. Don't like test it. Test, and fail a lot. Enjoy the failing part. I love failing. Just learn from that. An advice for all myself, I just said it, start top of the funnel activity earlier. But I wouldn't change anything. I mean, there were a lot of problems, but maybe entrepreneurs have this kind of a mentalic problem. I don't remember them. I remember only the fun and joy, but there was many hard times, like really stressful, people's money, the entire business at risk, Meta is broken. For some reason, I don't remember them, but that happens to me all the time. That's why maybe I'm a good entrepreneur, because I'm not connected to reality. The only advice for myself is again, start earlier with top of the funnel activity, like make your brand known, and don't do just performance marketing. We invested in products, so we did it right, but invest also in awareness, so people know you even if they don't buy you. So influencer marketing, that's my biggest regret. I should have started it a year ago.
Awesome, Felix. Thank you so much for this session. We're out of time. That was epic. I think there were a lot of learnings here for everyone here in the crowd. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for hosting me. It was fun.
Thank you.
you,
See you
everybody.
next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.